Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Thank you for all of you who showed up so much earlier than usual. That was very cool of you. I am Jess. You are awesome, and this is the Builder's Block right here on the Transverse Network. Now, before we get going, the usual checks, because stuff has gone wrong before. Can you hear me? Sound level check, and I guess gesticulation check. Do you hear me all right? Awesome. I see it all good. Thank you, Midvani. That is awesome. And I'm just going to keep saying awesome a lot because it's fun to say. But thank you so much for stopping by and for hopefully having some fun with me tonight. We'll have a good little adventure as we play and build and create and chat and talk and fun things. That's also really bugging. I'm looking at OBS. There's like some kind of weird red line, and I don't know why. Oh, there we go. I pulled my logo off center. Now it's back to the center. All right. Well, for those of you who might be joining us for the first time, I know there's always a possibility, even though so many of you are awesome regulars. If you are new, here's the deal. Here's what's happening. Here's why you're looking at me and listening to me. This show is one of many that are available on the Transverse Network. And it is a fun, cool time that exists for a lot of different... I'm sorry, I'm like babbling. I lost all track of my thought like halfway through, which is the problem when you don't plan ahead. And Ashley, who's often in the chat, will be very mad at me. Oh, she's in the chat. Thank you, Jess, for saying... thank you, Ashley, for saying something good. Hi, Jess. Hi, John. Sorry, I'm like reacting very delayed to everyone's comments, but I was explaining what this is about. This is Builder's Block. It's one of the shows on Transverse Network, and the deal is each week there's a different person like me here creating and building stuff. We're making things that show off not only our own talents, but hopefully our own passions, things that we really enjoy and want to share with you as we create and build. And yeah, that's the deal. If you do happen to follow the Transverse Network, if you have not already, you'll not only get more episodes of Builder's Block, you will also get some other amazing shows and programming available from other great people sharing other cool stories. And you know, many of the people who will be showing them to you happen to be trans, and we talk about some very cool things, but there's lots hopefully here to enjoy and share, no matter who you are and how you identify. And so I'm really glad that you're stopping by and that we're getting to spend some time together. If you see me glance up above the screen, I try to put the chat right there so that I can kind of look at the camera, but also kind of look at the chat. So sorry if I'm looking kind of away, but that's the plan. But you know, let's see. Just looking good. Howdy's, highs. People saying hi to Emily. That's awesome. Emily, I'm glad you're trying to move things forward. Let's do that here with this very show. Let's move it forward. So I mentioned that there are different builders and different creators who show up from time to time on the Builder's Block. My whole shtick, my whole deal is that I like to build things out of Lego. I build different custom Lego creations. And over the past few episodes that I've been on, I've been building the trans train, which I realized I said trans train both because that was nice and I'm gonna say alliterative, consonantive is consonants, right, to trans train, but it is it started off with an engine that was in the colors of the trans flags. That was how I got going at the start. And then after that, I extended it to build other cars that had other kinds of LGBTQ identities in it. So that was a fun little journey that I've been kind of randomly on. I've been extending the train, so it's not really strictly the trans train anymore, since I have other identities in the consists behind the engine. But that's okay, because none of this stuff has to have a plan. It just has to be fun, and that is the deal. Hey, Mish. Thank you so much for popping in, and as always, for the bits, which are so appreciated and never required, but it's so sweet of you to do. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming by. Oh yes, I'm sorry, I'm seeing Emily and Midvani both solicit for more builders, so we do want more people in the mix building and creating things. So if you have a talent, something that you like to do and share and show off, if you're willing to, reach out, pop into the Discord channel and tell us about it, and maybe you too could be right here. Hey, just to check, I'm hearing like different little sounds and stuff, and I see my video buffering. I just want to make sure on my other computer where I'm seeing the chat, I just want to make sure things are okay. Am I coming through clearly video-wise, all that kind of good stuff? I guess let me know if you see anything be disrupted. I keep getting distracted because I see this little video buffering message, not on this computer, but on that computer that's showing the chat. I have been monologuing fast, and I know I do that a lot. So thank you for bearing with, and hopefully I'm reasonably articulate that you can follow what I'm saying. I always need to remember to slow down. But let's get to the building right here. So I talked about the train and that we're gonna keep on building the train. Thank you, Midvani. Let me show you the train to date. Let's show you what we're gonna be building off of, and then we will get to building yet another segment of the train. What camera should I use? I moved my build camera, so this is gonna be a little bit of an experiment to see how it looks. Put it a little bit more centrally than it was before. So here is the start of it all. This is what got it all going. The engine of the trans train, which is in the colors of the trans flag. It's kind of bright. I realize it's almost white. Let me see if turn out this light makes a difference. That didn't really do anything to help. All right, I will hold it up maybe. Let's see if that. I have to remember where the cameras are. But here's the train in the colors of the trans flag. Pink in the back, light blue in the front, little line of white. Oh, you can see it in my camera. It's probably even better. Why am I even doing this? This camera's better. Here it is. This is the engine. Yeah, and it was a fun little build. This is all of this creation started with was me just thinking, hey, this looks cool. I want to do something with the trans colors. Trans train felt like natural combination. Boom, here it is. So this is at the front of the train, or I guess at the back of the train, pushing or pulling things along. From here, we kept on going. And the next thing I built was a car carrier. And in my probably not entirely sensitive, hopefully can just coming across as mildly funny way, I decided to make a car carrier of Subarus as part of a lesbian stereotype. And I would incorporate not just the cars, but also the colors of the lesbian pride flag. And so that is where I went. I have right here, we have the start of a hype train. That is exciting. I didn't even notice that. That is cool. That is a good message to get distracted by, because I was like, oh God, what's going wrong now? But it's a good thing. It's a hype train. Thank you for starting the hype train. That is pretty cool. This was the start of the lesbian car carrier. My original plan was I'll have shades of the pink here at the bottom, then white in the middle, and then shades of orange on top. But this thing got so tall that it started to feel a bit silly. I felt like it was too tall to kind of be at the scale I wanted with the engine, right? So I just pulled the front of the engine off. That was a strong magnet right there. Yes, so anyway, the point is I did not get to put all of the orange colors into this train as I had hoped, just one in the form of this particular car. So the compromise I did was, instead of making this kind of absurdly tall, I instead went longer, and I created a second one with those orange colors. So now we have, boom, two cars that collectively make up the colors of the full lesbian pride flag. And I think the last time I did a stream with this where I was doing these, I did a hype train that is very appropriate. I am slow tonight. So in doing this, I not only now have the bases of the cars, the rail cars, and the vehicle cars on them now all the colors of the flag, I was also able to go a little bit farther after the stream. So if you remember when I made, not this one, but this one, the orange one, this shade at the top, the light shade, was a bit too bright. It wasn't the orange I wanted it to be. It was actually just a yellow. But I didn't have enough of the orange pieces at the time, the light orange, to fill it in. I also had another white Subaru at the time. I had two white ones and then a dark pink and a dark orange. After I streamed, like a day after I streamed last time, all the extra parts came in. So I replaced the yellow with the light orange. I built a light pink car, which was pretty cool. And so now I even have an extra Subaru. So bonuses all around. 5 cars, 2 trains, all the colors. I'm very happy with how this came out. And so the very last portion of this train that I built was that I made a tanker of gender fluid. So if you're running low on your gender fluid, or maybe you want to swap it out for something different, here you go. The colors of the gender fluid flag in a tanker. So continuing the extremely hokey, barely kind of a joke association between identities and the various rail cars, this is where we left off. This is where you are entering in now with the continuation of this construction. So, do you not catch that before, Emily? the tanker. You are the tanker, Beach. That is a good point. And you provide so much energy that you kind of really are the tanker gender fluid. You chugging along, powering everyone up. It's very apt. It's very apt. So, club car. There are so many other kinds of cars that need to be figured out. I not only want to find the right identity to match with the car, but the right car to match with the identity. And I've gotten some lovely suggestions and lovely thoughts, and I want to keep getting them. If you have a thought on what identity a club car could be, tell me. Put them into the Builder's Block section of our Discord chat and let me know. Let me know those thoughts. And yeah, let's not only get this hype train going, if you so choose, which is lovely, but get the idea train going and send in more thoughts for what other cars should be in the train. I do have a thought for tonight. And so to appreciate that thought, cheers to all of you for being here. I have my stream cocktail tonight. Decided to shake it up from wine and beer. Perfect timing with the hype and the cheers. Thank you so much. It's Winter Nicole for those bits. And for everyone else who's contributed, like Logic Buster gifting a sub to Julie. That is so awesome. You guys are awesome. So yes, raise a glass at home. If you can safely drink, if you do choose to drink, if you don't, that's wonderful. Raise a glass of anything but water, because Ashley has taught me that you never toast water. But let's cheers to a great time together and hopefully a fun stream. It's a mudslide, by the way. I made it, but I wasn't letting myself try it until I came on the stream. It's good stuff. All right. So, what we're gonna build tonight, right? This is the big question and the mystery. I even posted something on my Instagram story asking people what they thought I was gonna build. Didn't get a ton of thoughts, but a few people did chime in with some very sweet things. You did, Logic Buster, and that's awesome. And keep suggesting things, and keep reminding me if I forget your suggestion. But that it's always appreciated to have more suggestions. But this particular one is one I have talked about before. And so if you look at the parts right here, do you have a thought on what it is I'm building? What this might be as stuff falls out of the trays? This is still very unusual for me. I'm still getting used to this, of actually having the pieces before I build. I don't usually plan ahead. I managed to luckily find some time, and I had strong enough idea to start to make a play at guessing this. And I have to admit, I probably have too much confidence going into tonight's build. So I don't even have a spare parts bin out. I have a whole closet of unsorted Lego pieces, all of the extra Lego pieces. But this time around, what I did was I usually, for all that, I have a whole closet, I also have one bin in particular that's kind of easy access. And so I usually have that on my side so that if I realize I don't have a piece I wanted, I can just dumpster dive and see what's in there. But this time, I'm being so bold, and I mean so bold, that I'm just gonna do it. I'm saying I have all the pieces I need in this tray, right here, all the pieces, and I am convinced I can pull it off without going back for extra pieces. I know I'm saying this, that's gonna cause me to fail immediately, but we're gonna try it, because the punchline is I felt good about my preparation for this time, even more so than last time. So I'm starting to get used to this whole actually preparing thing. Let's see if I can keep that train going. There's so many great horrible jokes to make around this topic. All right, Legos indeed. Let's build. All right. So we have our pre-built base, right, for Lego, their common train base. So I do, some people not some people, some official sets have even shorter cars, especially for the rail cars that are farther back, but I kind of like to still have them be relatively full-sized if I can pull it off. So this will still be our base. We'll be building on this, and we'll be using all these parts to do it. And I said, could you guess? Does anyone have a guess about what I'm building here? There are some very, very strong clues in this visual image. I wanna, I have given some of it away, I think, if I did a decent enough job building it. I'm gonna get crumbs out my eyes while you ponder. All right, even when has guesses or is not typing them, and that's okay too. The biggest hints are right up in this corner here. So I am building a train car for the bear identity. I can do lots of different things. Partly I was looking at different pride flags and thinking about what colors do I have? What can I build from what I have relatively easily? Because as I discovered, especially with the lesbian car trains, the availability of certain colors in certain piece shapes can be very limited and make it much more challenging to build things. And so I was definitely struggling with, or realizing the potential to struggle. And so I did kind of set out, I'm like, all right, what kind of things do I have in abundance and which flags match those things, and kind of think about that. But I'll also say there's a couple coworkers that I see fairly regularly at work, and I am with them on our company's LGBTQ organization, and we work together in sort of the leadership and communication and operations teams, and some of them are bears. They're gay men who the bear identity works for them. That's something that they feel like that's a good fit. And one in particular, Raphael, is an awesome dude who, when I went to the Out and Equal Workplace Summit in 2019, took me to my first bear bar. Someplace I did not know if I would be comfortable or brave enough going on my own, because I never want to intrude on a space if it feels like it's for something that I'm not. But he was super sweet. It was super fun. It was a pretty cool place to go in there and connect it. So that not to connect it, to learn about it and kind of connect reality with my impressions. So that was fun. So this is, I don't think you're watching Raphael, but this is for you. I'm doing so I have a little hairier than average dude there on the bear. This is going to be the bear car. Okay, so we can get to building. I'm going to take this kind of a tray at a time. This is how organized I tried to be. I even tried to make it sorta sequential. But I think this is what I need to get this all off the ground. Let's just put this over here. And then away we'll go. Alrighty, so my thinking is to kind of build this off around the basis of like a cattle car that you might see on a typical train. I'm also going to learn how to adjust this. I feel like it's so bright. This is where my relative inexpertise at both streaming and things AV come into play, because I can have the things, whether or not I know how to correctly use the things is another issue entirely, but hopefully you'll be able to make out well enough what's going on here. And as always, let me know, say something in the chat if things are not clear, not looking good, not making sense, and we'll try to make it right for you. All right, so rail car. My notion here is I'm going to build different slats. I'm going to use this little piece with this 1x8 smooth tiles as kind of the slats on the side of the car. But you want to have a little gap between the slats. And so the way I'm pulling that off is I have these little headlamp pieces. There you go. And so I'm going to pop these on there so that the slat is kind of on the side, right? There's a stud. Sorry, I keep forgetting where my hands are. There's a stud on the tops. So you can put them vertically on top of each other, and then the slat on the side, putting the smooth face out. And then if I put more of these together, and then I put them on top of each other, you can see there's the slats and there's a little gap in between, so you get kind of that open air feel of a cattle car for the train. Told the Bear's Bear Bar. I don't, Midvani. That's a good question. It was in DC. No, I don't. Jessica and Ashley, who I saw in the chat earlier, can attest to this. I don't usually know where I am. I'm often going with people to places, and that's often the extent of my awareness of the situation. Someone takes me to a place, and I think it's cool, and I'm like, this is great. I gotta remember this, and then I never remember it. I have to go to somewhere a lot. I have to become like almost a regular for it to really imprint on my brain. Which is no commentary on the places, it's a commentary on my brain. So I do not remember that bar, but I can ask Raphael. Back in 2019, when we went to DC. That was a cool experience. Not enough any of you folks are aware of Out and Equal. It's a very cool organization that's focused on LGBTQ policies, advocacy, everything in the workplace. And so lots of large organizations, both public ones, like the Department of Defense or different CIA, NSA. I'm just thinking of groups I've seen at these events in the past, as well as lots of companies like Pfizer, which I'm a part of, have memberships, and they do sponsorships and they send people, and you go to these conventions, and it's fascinating. There's tons of other individuals who are either LGBTQ themselves or tend to work in HR environments focused on policies, and they just talk about what's going on in their organization, what they're focused on, what they've learned, what they want to share, and it's great. It's not only a fun opportunity to network and connect, but I learned so much. I think someone once told me when I first heard about it and first attended, probably I think 2019 was the first one in person, and then it's been digital the last 2 years. But just before I went, they said almost every policy we have that's oriented or addresses the LGBTQ community was something learned on Out and Equal Summit. So it really has been very influential. Twofold part to your question, Midvani. Am I going to go to the Trans Wellness Conference in Philadelphia? I definitely want to attend the conference. I loved it. I loved it in 2019. I would. I cannot wait to go back. I did hear that it's virtual again this year. So I don't think I'll be going to Philadelphia for it. Or if I am going to Philadelphia for it, I don't think there's going to be anything to attend in person. I'll still have to be doing it by Zoom for that portion. Assuming that remains the case, but that's my understanding is that, sadly, but also understandably, it's currently planned to be virtual this year. So that's my expectation. All right, as I'm doing this, tell me, let me know about that, Justice. That sounds cool. They said they're going. Oh wow, Midvani, thank you. That is huge news. I saw like so many social posts about people being sad, and then I was sad. I just assumed that. See, that's what you did. You shouldn't assume. That's my bad for assuming. That is huge news. That would be awesome. And then yes, Justice, a Transverse conference. It's just a brilliant thing. It's a brilliant thing. All right. In addition to chatting, I also just want to mention something here. Hey, Danny, thank you so much for popping in. That's fantastic and lovely of you to do. Things I think are going well. I am building my Bear train car, and what I'm thinking is, I want to get your input on this. So we have the slats here on the side, and what I'm thinking is there's going to be 2 windows. And that's where I have these little pieces come in, this little gap starting to form here for a window. And I'm thinking, originally I was going to do them both on the same side, but now part of me is thinking I'm going to, like on this side I'll have one, and on this side I'll have one, and these sides will be solid, and these, the middle part's going to be doors. So what do you think? Alternate them on opposite ends, or should they be at one end of the train? Let me know what you think. Sorry, just reading chats. Awesome. Hi, everyone. The Bear flag itself goes black, dark gray, white, yellow, orange, brown. There might be different names and different shades, but that's roughly the deal. And so that's what I'm doing here. I try not to be like super explicit with the colors. I try to work them in other things. So like the gender fluid tanker, the blue is like the whole, there we go, whole base of the car. It's not just, you know, straight up stripes. They're not always the same shape. Then it was sort of like, you know, I've seen oil tankers kind of have this kind of design. So I tried to like make it look almost like it's just a corporate design that happens to be the gender fluid flag. I'm not always going to be perfectly successful at that, but that's similar thoughts here. That I'm going to have all those colors, but like there's going to be more of the white. The gray is going to be the base. The black will be the wheels and the root. So it's not like I'm, you know, I could do a line each for the colors and be very explicit. I'm trying to be a little more subtle. Not a lot more subtle, but a little more subtle. So that's the plan here. To all the family being here. Thank you for stopping by. I'm always cognizant when if you'd watch this on YouTube, this doesn't make any sense. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm reacting to the chat. I'm not just randomly doing tons of non sequiturs. I'm just doing a few non sequiturs. That's good. All right. As we're all here, as we're all gathered together, how were your days, people? Did you have solid Wednesdays? Is it a busy week, easy week? I know mine has been remarkably busy, but in many good ways. I posted some great stuff for work today that I'm excited about, that I'm realizing as I'm starting to talk, I can't really talk about, so I won't yet. But still some good things that were progressing. I had a great review with my boss, so that was always lovely to hear and have a little bit of affirmation. What else happened? Oh, and today and tomorrow, I've been participating in a conference, which is something that's kind of cool. It used to be something that was in person. In fact, it was the only business travel I had in the past was for these conferences. Understandably, it's been gone for a while, but it might come back in June. But the idea is different companies sign up with this organization, the conference board, and you all join. The company joins as a group, and then individuals join different individual councils within there. So you might have a philanthropy council, which has people from your corporate responsibility groups. You might have a digital officer council, a legal council, all these different groups where different folks from those different companies can get together and talk about what they're doing. And there's a concerted effort to focus on not having anyone who competes with anyone else in the room. So that way you can kind of talk openly, that you're in the same field talking about your stresses and your concerns and your projects and your hopes, but you're not sharing anything that would like be competitive or inappropriate or conflicting. So it's been great. I've been participating in this council for 13 years now. In fact, I'm the oldest, not the old, I'm the longest tenured member of this committee, which is pretty cool and pretty bizarre. and it's great. And we usually take turns hosting the meetings. So in the before times, I'd be flying out to Moline to go to John Deere's headquarters, or going out to Pittsburgh for PPG, or Cincinnati for who's in Cincinnati? J&J. No. Procter & Gamble? I'm thinking of people who were past members. I can't quite remember now. Marriott was cool. Their headquarters were in DC, but they're just like, well, we have all these hotels, so let's just go to a hotel that we like. And so we went to Florida for that one. But yeah, it was kind of fascinating. So that's what I did today, was start that conference talking about agile development and when it's right to restack your platforms. So some solid geekery in there. I just realized, oh, I forgot a level, tan. That's why. I'm like, why don't I have the pieces I want? Just to show you guys while I'm babbling here. So we got the white, and I now have it added in some tan. So, I'm sorry, now it has some yellow, which is in the wrong order. It should go tan and then yellow and then orange. I am not doing fantastic here. I'm looking at your comments now. Got catching up. Thank you, Vani, for the congrats. It's very sweet. And I'm also conscious. I often feel like sometimes I'm only cheerful. It's not like sad things don't happen, but I've been very blessed lately to have fun things happen, but also wonderful people in my life that helps me stay happy. Things I cannot complain about anything. I have been ludicrously blessed, especially lately. And you guys are all a big part of it. Thank you so much for being here. Mish, Scrum Master. Whew. All right. Now I gotta be careful. All right, I gotta think about. I gotta say one thing. So I'm the product owner, so I have to be at all these things to like give requirements or talk to my team about what they need to test, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm an extreme night person. Having to do a daily 8 a.m. for the entirety of the last year as we are relaunching Pfizer.com was like my worst nightmare. They're lovely people. I feel bad for them though, because I would like roll over in my bed and join the call on my iPad, camera off, and then stumble out and get coffee while I'm on it. Like I don't know half the stuff I said during those Scrum calls because I was not massively conscious, but we were working with folks who are in Greece and in the Ukraine, which I've been really thinking about those folks lately. That's how all of our calls start now. We're in a more relaxed pace for a couple of sprints after launch to work through some different sort of final enhancements and adjustments. And the questions, how are you? Are you safe? Is like the start of all those calls. I kind of forget where I was going. I was babbling about a lot of stuff here, but yes, Midvani, exactly. Morning person means morning in bed, asleep, unconscious, or at least dreaming. I'm always dreaming. The DevOps lifecycle tech dude. That's awesome. That's a good point. I'm sorry, Midvani. I raise a glass for fellow person afflicted with having to waste your mornings on productive things rather than sleep. Okay, now things are really shaping up. We have the actual tan in there and then yellow. So coming along, let's see over here, here, and here. You can start to see where the windows are, but still kind of feels like painted wood slats. At least that's the goal, that's the dream here. It's always interesting. Part of me is like, will this be enough or will this be too much? Will I have enough content? That kind of thing. It's a little bit of a fly by the seat of the pants situation. Let's see how it works out for everyone, Cotton. So now I don't have. Oh, come on, camera, stop being fuzzy. Focus here. Focus. That kind of worked. Wow. I don't have 1x8 smooth tiles in orange, I discovered. So instead I'm taking this 1x6 plate with the studs on it and attaching a 1x2 and a 1x6 plate to it to make it a 1x8. That is what you're seeing here. And I have 4 of these now to fill out the solid walls and cap off the windows as well. I hear you, Carrie. The paychecks are nice. Has anyone else started to do their taxes? I started to do my taxes yesterday, and it's been a bit daunting to realize the impact of the tax. Not the credits, but like the I don't know. I'm not withholding enough. That's the punchline. So it's gonna hurt a little bit. That was a fun discovery. Adulting is rough. Let's pull back a bit on the adulting. All right. This is the stream, right? This is like, you're like, where can I go to kind of vaguely see some Lego building and hear someone talk about taxes? I think I think we can all agree, right? Like we can all agree that's the dream. That's the vision. Would you agree? Taxes, Legos. All right, cool. Just want to be on the right side. This is literally the right side, but I didn't mean to hit this button, but there's my there's my computer. And then here we are back to the build state. Okay, so we now have kind of the end sides of the car there, right? We got windows to the walls. I won't finish that lyric. but you can get a sense of how the car is shaping up, and then in the picture over here with me, you can get a better sense of the colors because it's less bright in this angle. But yeah, right. This is solid progress. I think you can concur on that one. All right. So now the question is, where do I go next? Ends or the middles? I'll go on the end. So on the end, I have a slightly different piece, and it's this little angled piece. I don't know which one's a better angle. So you see the kind of headlamp-like pieces before, right? There's this one, which is like a solid brick, but it has a stud on the side. There's a version that's like that, but it has the indented stud on the side. And then there's this version, which is relatively new, which has two studs on two of the sides. So very unique, and not often easy to find. But I'm going to use those on the ends here for a very specific reason, which you will discover. I'm not going to spoil it yet, because we're going to literally build up to it. Do that piece, and then we're going to do tan and yellow. All right, so the deal is I'm gonna take these little tiny plates, 1x1 plates. I'm gonna do 2 of them, and then another of the corner pieces. This one happens to be tan, though it doesn't really matter because I'm gonna cover up the corner pieces. Here's the camera. And then I'm gonna put another 1x1 plate on top. So this thing is still 2 bricks tall. This little combination is still 2 bricks tall, but the stud is offset. It's like 1 plate lower. Because if you remember from our past classes, 3 plates equals 1 brick in height. So I have 3 plates and a brick here that add up to 2 bricks in height. And so I can now plop this onto here, so it's level there on the top. And I can do that again on the other side. Oh, lurky. Thank you so much, Emily. Appreciate both you being here and the lurk. Also, someone needs to help me understand lurking. Okay. Thank you, Logic Buster. Good question. Lego Masters does a lot of recruiting in a lot of different venues. They have reached out on my Flickr and on my Instagram. But yeah, they're talent agencies casting a very wide net. The first season I didn't reply. The second season I started to reply and it didn't. Oh no, I replied and told them, hey, I would be interested, but I'm in the process of transition. Now is not a great time. Like, let's maybe talk in the future. And so that's where things are. Someone has reached out. I have not said really much about doing it other than maybe I'll be interested. Yeah, so we'll see. I would love. I think that would be fun to do. It would also probably be a bit scary to do because I think there's different ramifications for being that public as a trans person that I want to make sure I'm ready for. I think we've seen some wonderful things with Amy on Jeopardy. That hopefully will be true, but I'm sure there's also probably some ugliness that she's gotten too. And so I guess I want to make sure I can fully understand that. And that's of course assuming I would even get on there because that's no clue, right? That's a difficult thing. But it's a good question, Logic Buster, and it's not like we haven't talked about it. I have talked about it with them. Okay, as I'm babbling here, so I built up this wall, right, which kind of matches the colors. But the sides are a little bit weird, right? They don't fully match, and there's these 2 studs on 2 of the sides hanging down here in this crazy bright environment. I really need to learn how to adjust my camera. I'm now going to take this 1x8 plate, and because of where those studs are placed on the side, I can actually attach it to the side of the train. Like, wow, I made that sound smooth, and now it's like not going on smoothly. Oh, come on. You worked when I was practicing this. Come on. There we go. There we go. And boom, it's on. It's not quite as close the connection as I remember. Did I get this in the wrong order? Hold on. I'm gonna pull this apart, readjust a little bit, make sure I got it the right height. Funny. I'm glad you like those studs, Muvani. Remember, you're a married woman. All right. Well, unless you have an open relationship, in which case, you know, knock yourself out. Taxes, Lego, and wildly inappropriate comments. Sorry. I am not gonna hold an envelope to my head with a funny hat on. I'm not that cool. I can't pull that off. That was it. All right, so I did it wrong. I had 2 plates underneath the stud and 1 above. It should have been 1 underneath, 2 above. That connects much easier. So I'm gonna change it on the other side too. I gotta love the brick separator. So handy. And now I can put these plates again on the ends here. And not only can I have it on the sides, I can also put it on the ends. And covering up those weird places that were not fully covered. So now, excuse me, sorry, I'm gonna do this angle because it gets a little better. You can kind of really take in how this is shaping up, right? There's a little bit of like depth and structure here where I have these side beams and then the cross beams and the gaps between them, which I think just kind of looks like a little wood built structure. So that's the plan. We can do it on the other end now. So let's keep going. Cool. You all rock. Thank you again for being here. That's so cool. All right, we got one end. Let's get the other. I'm gonna do the same thing, though I'm gonna do it kind of, I put it on the sides at the end. I'm gonna do it all in a row. Now, do. And can I just do a little shout out for my pre-planning abilities that I did not know I fully possessed? And I think many of my friends would attest they don't believe I possess them, but look at this. I'm jinxing myself as I say this, but I'm finding all the parts I need, and they're all here. I have them all in advance. That's so unusual for me. Oh, come on, camera. Don't be out of focus. Thank you. Had a thought and I lost it in my excitement. Oh, I was just gonna mention, you might have noticed on the side here, I didn't do a brick at the top. Like, this is an orange brick with studs on top. I did 2 plates and then a smooth tile on top. And that's for something that's gonna come next. When we put the roof on, I want the roof easy to take on, take off. And so that's smooth so it doesn't clip onto it. It can raise up and down. That's the plan there. Where's my origami Lego paper cutter stencil? If you are asking me, Logic Buster, the answer is I don't have one and I'm not quite familiar with it. Here we go. A little part of the side of the train. And then I'll take 2 plates, put them together with the tile. A couple studs, Sreem and Vani, on the side here. And now we have the ends kind of there. I think there's something that goes on top of this, but that's in the next plate. All right, so now I'm going to do the starts of the middle. A suitably enigmatic way to say that. Oh, I have to put the little beams on the side. Forgot about that. I haven't had a mudslide in a while. The problem for me is that I never have heavy cream or dairy products because I feel like whenever I buy that, it all goes bad before I ever use it. So this is a rare moment where it worked out and I was able to actually enjoy them. All right, I'm going to assemble, this thing is 6 bricks high. So I'm going to assemble 6 of these little stacks of black studs on their sides. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, I think I just realized I need to get one piece. Because I grabbed a bunch of pieces and I think one of them is wrong. See, I shouldn't have been so boastful about my organization. I might have just found one I missed. Solid Midvani. Gotta go for wine. And respect, Carrie. You, I hope it's okay. I often talk about the drinks I'm having here and enjoy them in front of you all. I hope that's all right. I never mean to create pressure or encourage poor behavior or anything like that, because I know some people choose not to drink, some people can't drink. There's a variety of different motivations, and I never want to be a exhibitor of bad habits. Drink responsibly, people, or don't drink at all, because that's totally cool. All right, so what happened here is I have this black piece with the stud on the side, but it's not the indented on the side black piece I need. So I have 5 of these. I should have 6. I didn't have it all, but thankfully there's a tray of them right here beside me. So boom, not the worst fit. Hey, Amy, you came 2 days in a row and I only guilted you a little bit, and it's so greatly appreciated. Thank you for stopping by, Amy. It's so awesome to have you here. You were coming just in time to see me about halfway through building the continuation of my trans train. And this is not just for you. We have people coming in and out. So I'm going to also do a little mini recap to say that we have the trans train engine in the trans colors. We have not 1, but 2 Subaru car carriers for your lesbians who are out there. And we have a tanker of gender fluid. And so tonight we are now extending the train with our bear car. So we're gonna blow this up and continue it on. And so that is what's coming for not only you, Amy, but of course anyone else who slipped in the last few minutes, including a belligerent soup. Hello. Don't be too mean and angry. I hope it's not because I don't like soup. It's nothing personal. Just how it is. Great to have you here. All right. So I was building more of the slatted sides of the train here, but I'm doing these little narrow parts that are going to go either side of the door. And so that's what these are prepped for. And now I'll take all these little teeny tiny 1x1 tiles that are in the colors of the bear flag, and we will stack them up inside here. So that is the plan. All right. Oh no, that's extra. That's extra. All right. We have 3 white, then tan, yellow, orange. So 1, 2, 3 white, 1 tan, 1 yellow, 1 orange, and 1 ready to go. That's kind of like a mod 60s, 70s vibe to it, doesn't it? These colors. I feel like see a Pierre Paul Mary album or something. All right. I don't know why I associated mod with them, because they were folk. That wasn't really, whatever. I'm just gonna keep rolling without any logic or sense. I did have all my pieces. All the are taken. Awesome, awesome. Do you get that joke a lot? The no soup for you, a belligerent soup? Because I feel like I would expect that. I hope you enjoy it each and every time. All right, so we now have 4 little bits, which are kind of like a little tiny continuation of the wooden slat design. But I also want to have this kind of raised structure here. So I have like a raised line with the 1x8 tile, and then the narrow line of the slats that we just built, and then the doors in the middle. So that's the vision. So all the rest of these pieces are for building up these little frame bits. But I'm also going to have this 1x6 orange at the top to help hold the container wide, to keep it, give it structure on the inside and make it as wide as we want it to be for the roof to go nicely on top. Sorry, I'm reading the chat here. All your base belong to, man, that is a good reference. It's been a while. All right, so just like the ends, I have these little pieces with the stud on the side, so we can attach the slats onto that. So we'll put on these slats at the bottom, in white. And then I will put on 2 more white bricks on top of it. Because I was trying to vaguely kind of sort of match the colors of the slats there beside, even though they're not quite as smoothly connecting together. Awesome. Thank you, Logic Buster, for putting that in the chat, and I'll be able to go check that afterwards. The count is 2. All right, the night is young, and so are you. Well, thank you for stopping on by here. All right, now I need to remember how tall this next bit goes. Right, 1. So I have one 1x1 tan plate attached to the bottom of the next piece of the stud on the side. That will be the second connector point for the slat to hold it in place on the outside. And we'll do again 4 of those all the way around. You got a chocolate bar on Monday that you're still eating now. How big is this chocolate bar? Is it one of the novelty ones? I'm just picturing this. This is making no claims about your eating habits or chocolate bar size purchases. The size of your chocolate bar purchases. But I once got from Hershey, from Chocolate World at Hershey Park, beside Hershey Park, the 5-pound chocolate bar. And it was glorious. I went with friends from college. We split it collectively amongst all of us. We stuck it in the freezer, in fact, because there was so much of it couldn't last, and then we would like take out our giant, like pound-sized chunks of the chocolate bar and gnaw on them from the freezer. That was a bizarre. Oh, kids. That's right. I used to live outside Harrisburg, so I would. Hershey was nearby. Almost lived in Hershey. Almost went to Hershey High School, but the house we are going to buy in Hershey was this gorgeous, super modern house. It was on a ravine, so it had 2 decks on the back, one above the other, out into the woods. It was really pretty. And in the basement of the house, there's a crack going down one wall, across the floor, and up the other wall. So it's like the house was falling off the cliff. So it was a messy process to back out of that purchase. Lost some money, my parents did, but resettled from the East Shore in Hershey, where we would have been, to the West Shore, where we ended up living for my whole time in high school. So I was born in Pittsburgh and grew up in Harrisburg. All right, so I built those sides. I'm putting on the slats. And lo and behold, when I take those and put in these little bitty pieces we made before, it should feel like this is one long structure with those wooden slats of our cattle car, but for bears, shape here, continuing on with the slats, even though it's not like the slats are on top. It's not like these vertical slats are on top of these horizontal slats, right? It's in between. So it's an illusion to make it feel that way. But here you go on this camera and on this camera. This is our progress so far, which I feel like is pretty solid. And it's because there was like this repetition that I think I was able to relatively easily plan ahead. And like, yeah, I just had to figure out like one corner or one end kind of to figure out the style, and then just collect enough pieces to redo that multiple times. So, good start, right? All right, now we're ready for the second of 4 trays to build a sucker. So let me go get that. Yeah. Hello, Sophia, Alyssa. Thank you so much for coming by. Wow, it's great to see you. Thank you for coming in. I am building an extension of my trans train where I have all of these other cars, my lesbian car carriers and my trans engine and my tanker of gender fluid. And now we're building the bear train for our bear friend. So that is the deal. We are making a fairly silly selection of rail cars, kind of sort of jokingly themed to LGBTQ identities, with almost no real plan other than whatever strikes me as funny in the moment. But it's great to have you here. All right, I'm gonna get the second tray. Keep this rolling. And so here I did do a little bit of, I wouldn't say cheating, but I didn't trust myself to remember this. So I spent a long time figuring out how to try to do the bear logo on the door. So if you've seen the bear pride flag, it has these colors and then there's this paw, bear paw on top of it. So I tried to kind of emulate a brick built paw. I'm gonna want this door on both sides of the cars, but I didn't trust myself to remember, so I left one fully assembled so I could follow this pattern and build the second one. So let me dump this out. Oh, y'all talking about evolution up in here. This is advanced. Taxes, sex life, evolution. We cover all the topics here on the Builder's Block. It is a comprehensive service. All right. I'm just pausing because I'm like, what was this piece for again? I'll figure it out. All right, so we have this door. I'm gonna build a second door. So let's get going with that. I'm gonna try to assemble these pieces and make it happen. It is not cheating. Don't you get on my bad side, Soup. You're already on my bad side because you're Soup, and I don't like Soup. Nothing personal. Sorry, this is so random. All right, let's find these pieces. I've got this and this. This is part of it. This is part of it. Alright, trying to remember all the different little elements that go into this one. That's not a part. That is. Alright. I think I have what's I need here. They'll also realize I have parts that go elsewhere. Those go on top, on top, on top, and on top. Alright. So the deal with this, hey Ava, thank you so much for coming in. Boop boop to you. So as we're building the bear car, you arrived just in time to see the construction of the bear door for the train car. And this was complicated, this was tough. One, it was tough to come up with like a brick built design that I thought actually looked like the paw on the bear pride flag. And I think I did a decent job. I mean, in theory, all these would be pointy. I didn't have enough pointy ones. I didn't have enough round ones, so I did sort of a combo. But I think it looks like a paw. But this is, I don't know if you'll notice this, but it is 5 studs long on top of a 6 stud base. And I've talked about this before when I built the train, the engine, and that was 7 studs wide. Because it's an odd number, it's a lot harder to build. Lego doesn't really come in pieces like that, and then those odd numbers as commonly. More standard would be 2x6 or 2x4. Things that are odd numbers tend to max out at 3. So if you want to do something bigger, you're usually combining things and being really careful on how to put them together. In this case, where I have 5 centered on 6, that means I'm using these jumper plates, which have off-center studs, and doing stuff to kind of do trickery and make it hit the layout so it can be centered like I'd like, well, only using the studs of 5 versus an even number of 6, because this whole thing is wider than 4. It's like 4.5 studs wide, so I had to do some craziness to make it work. Thank you. I like to think it's pretty good. Decent, at least. We'll go for decent. All right, so on the back here, I'm looking at what I did with the last door. Well, you should look at it too. Look at what I did on the back of this. I promise, I'll figure out how to make this not so glaringly bright so you can actually make out detail on the brighter pieces here. At least you can see the black ones, the dark pieces, which otherwise would fade into the background. All right, but we have this at the bottom. We have this. I couldn't find enough of these pieces, but worked out for connection points, so we're gonna do that there. What else is going on? I'm gonna take a peek under the hood here. So try to remember what the heck I did last time. Right, okay. This is here. So those 2, 3, that's right. And then that. And then that. So that's the base we're building on. And sorry, it's not quite clear. Well, there's like a little bit of shadow for a second there. You can kind of see it when I create shadow. There. So that's the piece I'm arranging, these brick plates that have studs on you're seeing the bottom of them, there's studs on the other side, but I'm going to attach the tiles, the jumper tiles, to the other side to create the off-center bear logo on the other side of this door. Could you eat pride soup? I could not. I don't know why. I'm not claiming there's great logic to this, but for some reason, there's sometimes a consistency thing and sometimes it's a smell thing, but I haven't really yet to find a soup. I have yet to find a soup I like. There are some soups I can tolerate, but I generally speaking don't prefer them. So I've just, for the moment, the fact that I eventually around like my 30s adopted salad was like enough of a stride forward in my pickiness. So I'm not branching out into soups at this time. A bear claw, nice. Oof, that's filling. That's awesome. Starting to catch up on chat. All this soup talk. All right, I can't look at chat for a little bit. Whoa. All right. So I'm using these little. Oh, come on, camera. Focus on me. Oh, come on. Worked last time. Why does this camera hate me? So I think I mentioned this last time. I moved the camera. Focus. All right. Hey. I moved the camera to be a little bit more vertical instead of being over my shoulder, but it does not. Hopefully it's a better angle for the building process. It's not definitely an angle for the clarity or brightness process. So still some work to do. That's how this goes, right? We learn as we go. We learn how to build, we learn how to stream, and you learn how to tolerate watching me doing both. So thank you again for being here. Transgendering? I feel like I'm not in the loop on whatever is happening now. All right, so I have the base now, kinda, sorta, for our train door to match this door. So now on this side, I will have a 1x4 plate at the bottom, and now I'm gonna put all these jumper plates, these 1x2 jumper plates. And by jumper, again, it means it's, here we go. There, you can see it. It's kind of like a tile, but has a stud in the middle, offset by like a half stud from where it would normally be 2. That lets me do this placement. And I'm gonna take a whole bunch of these, 15 of these, and put them all the way across here to fill in this and basically make a space that has studs that are a total of 5 studs apart. So even though the base is 6, whatever goes on top of here will be 5 wide. So that's how I'm pulling off this offset, odd number but still centered design for the bear flag on the other side of the door. Oh, it turns my fingers. I'm sorry. I thought Thank you for that clarity, Carrie. I saw Logic Buster, your transgender ring, and without the space, I thought you said like I was transgendering, or there was someone else talking about it, like they're doing the making the adjective a verbing. So I wasn't quite following. That makes more sense. I got the rings. I have a trans ring and a lesbian ring off of Etsy. Found them there. I think they were actually made in Russia, I want to say. So I figure if I can encourage the production of queer things being made in Russia, that is probably a good thing. I'm gonna hope it's a net good thing. All right, so we have this base down now, so you can see the incredible brightness of the base now. And there's all those studs. So on top of here is where I'm gonna put another set of tiles, which will let me then put the pieces for the bear on afterwards. So we're getting there. We almost got the 2 doors down, and then we'll be pretty close. Hopefully this will be right on track to finish this all. And there's my mistake again, making this go out of focus. Come on, camera, come on. All right, whatever. I know I shouldn't say whatever, because that means it's a harder experience for you, but I also want to keep building, because that would be a bad experience if you just saw me try to get my camera to focus the whole time. All right, it should be a little bit more focused than this though. Come on, camera. There we go. All right, lift up the train base. That's the action to do. So I have to say this took a while to figure out. And so I, as much as it's not necessarily as wildly creative as just watching me riff on the spot, I do think it's probably good of me to plan this ahead, because it probably would be a rough experience watching me try 97 iterations of this before I get it right. Because I didn't know how wide it should be. I did a lot before I got to this part that I was reasonably happy with. All right, so we have the base of the paw. We're now gonna pop some fingers on there, some paw pads. Now I'll put some little claws on the end. There's one. And where's another one? There's 2. To the next, you said the blindfold one. So one thing I have done, which was super fun, it'd be hard to do here. Maybe I could do it here. Is I did a blind build where you're not blindfolded, but the deal is you have a screen in front of you, and there's holes at the bottom of the screen that you stick your hands through, but otherwise you can't see the surface behind you. Someone else comes along, they open up a set, and they pour out the pieces. On my side of the screen, I have the instructions, so I can actually see the model, this little model, official Lego model to build. But all I can do is feel the pieces and look at the instructions, try to figure out how to build it purely by feel. And it is a speed contest. I did that at a Brick Fair in New Jersey, and it was a blast, and I won, which is pretty cool. So I did build fast, and I won like a free Lego set of some kind for my speed building. That was a cool time. So I have done kind of blind build, but it was with a screen instead of a blindfold. And with contacts and eye makeup and stuff, it's probably a little better anyway. All right. So where am I? Choppy's take a shot. Good Lord, that would be a rough night. I'll take a sip though. It's in support. Okay. Ooh, really taste the Baileys on that one. Yeah, no, with the I might do a blind build. I just have to figure out how to do it. I just don't know if I want to do it with a blindfold, just for comfort reasons. But also, if I could easily cheat, I feel like I could potentially see through a blindfold. You can't see around a giant screen in front of you. We'll figure that one out. That's a very cool idea, though. Okay, so I'm going to put these white plates here on the edge. These are kind of the door is going to kind of rest on top of this. This also took some working out to make the door kind of recess as far as I wanted to, but also still ramp all the way down. And the way I ended up kind of compromising to reach this is I attach these doors on these little extended hooks and then attach them to these little plates with attachment points on them. And I'm going to put them onto this big broad plate. And let's attach some other pieces onto this to give a little detail. Oh, there we go. This door on this side. And now I'm going to put this on to the bottom. And part of how I'm going to do that is take two camera. Why do you hate me so? Just as I'm about to do it. All right, I'm going to take these 2 plates, 1x4 stacked on top of each other, and put them on here. I can't do 6 because for all that it looks like there's attachment, this ridge here means that you can't actually attach something all the way out to the edge. And this is all recessed by 1 plate. So I have 2 plates to raise it up, and then I have 1 level of plates above coming back, but I can put it on top like that, squeeze it all together, and boom. Now the doors can go in. There we go. And they kind of rest on there. So we have the doors attached, and they kind of look in line, and they're not sticking out too much from the sides. They're kind of relatively flush with at least this structure, the side vertical slats. Now, one challenge was because I attached them lower down, when I open them, oh, sorry from the train falling apart. That will get more stable in a second. There's something else I need to add. When the doors open, they come down. If I want them to actually, like, if this train didn't have a loading ramp or it wasn't at a level platform, then the size of the bogies, the wheels, would mean that this would ramp down, and there'd be this gap here, right? There'd be this space where the poor bears would fall right through. So I have this piece, like an inner gate, and this will go on there. And so now when this comes down, this can fold down, and look, it like bridges the gap. So they can walk out and down off the side. I was very proud of that. So we got our little inner gate, our outer door / ramp. We'll do that on the other side. Take these really old school car roofs. So this used to be. And attach that to the inside there. Boom. Fold it up, fold the door up. We have ourselves a pretty solid car. Now I'm going to do some other things here to help fill this all in. Specifically, I'm going to take these white pieces and I'm going to attach them to the top. So when you probably noticed when I pulled down the door, one of the side parts, like half of the rail just flew right off because it catches against the door and it can not always be super smooth. So these little smooth tiles here will be helpful to hold the roof in place, but they'll also help make sure that that stays together when the door is open and shut. Kind of gives it a little bit extra structure. So I do that in the middle and the ends here. Excuse me. That's better. Put these tiles on the end. Let's put these little bits of tile in the middle. Cool. So we have a pretty solid base of our car here. Now I haven't done 2 things, the bottom and the roof. And most of the pieces for the bottom are right here. So let's go ahead and wrap that up. So I have a few different things going on to attach to the bottom of this. We're gonna put these little smooth pieces here on the ends, and then this inside that. I'm going to take these pieces here. These little angled pieces are kind of just going to make they're little like kind of greebling, make this look a little bit more structured parts. But if you remember too, we talked about the bear pride flag has black at the bottom, so this is the black. This is where we're introducing that into the structure of the car as this base. All these extra pieces. There's a point which I was going to maybe do some of the tops of this, the tiles in black, but I decided I would do white instead. So I just kept all the extra pieces in case they were handy at some point. Ooh. This is hard to make sure it's firmly attached. All right, sorry. And I'll do it all off camera so you can't see. All right, so now we have doors. We have our base. So later on, when we get to the part where we're adding in the wheels, they won't just kind of look awkwardly like they're floating. There'll be a little bit of structure in the middle there. Yeah, good start. All right, I'm going to put these extra pieces off to the side, but I'm also going to attach our bears. We have not one, but two bears. So I'm going to put bear one of the louder roar variety, or rar, if you will, up here, sticking his head kind of out this window. Oh, I'm kind of guessing at where I'm putting this little stud on his paw, one of his paws, so I can angle him inside the car, but I'm not quite sure which foot to put on. So it's a little bit of experimentation here, because I want his head to kind of stick out the window a little bit. Right. Make it a little bit more interesting. All right, make that work. Cool. So there we go. Bear making himself known. And then at the other window on the other side of the car, I don't know if you can see this guy's face before. He's a little freaked out. I know it's a little bit fuzzy because I'm also in there. It's like throw it at the camera. It's still, the things don't want to focus, but the point is he has a slight look of terror, help me, how did I get caught in here? This is his expression. That's the plan at least. So we'll put him at the other end of the car from the actual, or the other kind of actual bear that he's maybe trying to signal for some help. He's trapped in a train with a bear. The random silliness. Okay, we're making solid progress. Wow, that went a little faster than I thought. So we're gonna vamp a bit. We're gonna keep going and hopefully fill this in well with the rest of it. Oh, the train can be motorized. Man, I missed so much here. All right, so I do not have any panda bears, at least not any pre-built. Like this is obviously a pre-built Lego bear. They have a mold for the bear, so I do not have one of the panda variety. Why not motorize the train? The train can be motorized. This is actually a motor, and the back here has a space for a battery pack. So it absolutely can. It was intentionally built so that it can and someday will be motorized. So it will move of its own power once I have a track. Amy is only here by guilt, so don't make her too conscious of it. She might not come back. No, thank you so much for coming by, Amy. And Sophia, it's awesome to see you. This is very cool. Jessica and Ashley are also in the chat, by the way. Also, I just want to check, you can still see me, right? I'm always thrown off. My other camera, my other computer that I have the chat on right above the camera, just shows my video spinning, which scares me that like, oh crap, is signal buffering, this thing's not working. All right, whatever, I'm gonna keep going. So now we are going to work on the roof. At least he ain't bear. That is a good point. That would probably be far scarier, right? You're a bear in a car with a bear. Scary. All right. Thank you, Ashley. Okay. I'm impressed that I've remembered as much as I did. I actually took pictures of all this, so in case I forgot what I did, because I kind of planned out like half of it again so I could get a sense of the pieces I needed. But so far, memory's going strong. All right, so the deal is here, I'm building a roof, but just like I have these slats on the sides, I still want slats kind of going around the top of the roof. And so I have these pieces that have studs on the ends of them, while also being narrow, thinner kind of plate related pieces. And so that's what I'm connecting onto these longer plates to kind of create edges, studs on the edge where I can make a rim of these tiles. So that is the plan and vision. I have these longer pieces here that I'm also clipping on, creating the side studs. These studs. We have... and thank you, Jessica, for the concurrence. Much appreciated. All right. Now, you'll see this is not full. These little pieces that create the edge pieces don't go all the way around, and that's intentional. There's a little 2-stud gap here and 3-stud gaps here, and those line up with these 3-stud and 2-stud plates on the roof. So they'll kind of slot right down in. It will hold in place while not being physically attached, so you can easily lift the roof on and off. So that's the vision, that's the plan. Great. These down on the ends. I remember the order to do this in. I think it goes, yeah, like this. So I'm using these 1x8 plates to hold these together. And then these 1x6 plates to finish off the edges. It's gonna be still a little bit flimsy, but we're gonna make it stronger with some pieces coming up in a second here. But already you can kind of see the frame of the roof and how it kind of lines up and slides on top of the rest. So right here you could theoretically stop it and be like, boom, I got my boxcar. But no, we're not done. You're not done. I hit the wrong button. We are not done. We're going a little bit farther, and we are gonna give this sucker a banger roof. And you know what kind of roof? A brown roof, because that's the last color of the Bear Pride flag. So let's keep going. I have some of the pieces here. I'm realizing I don't have all of them. This is actually split between not one, but 2 containers. So I'm going to get another container. I'm also putting these little orange pieces on the bottom here, these 1x6 orange plates. And that's because, you know, when I held this up and you're looking at it, when I bring the roof down on top, there is a little gap above the doors. So I filled in the orange so it kind of continues the orange of the slats. So make that look kind of a little bit more complete, I thought. All right, but let's build in the rest of the roof. All of these pieces are going to be for the tippy top of the train, so those will come next to last. But now we need all of the slope pieces and the bogey pieces for the wheels. I love, for the last several streams I've been saying bogey. I'm like 64% confident that's the name of the wheels on a train, but I don't want to look it up at this point. I'm pot committed to that being the name. So we're just going with that. No one tell me. No one tell me. All right, so we are going to put these brown slope pieces on top, which will not only make the cool top of the train, but also should make the roof more stable by kind of holding everything together. We have 2 I like stud jokes. This is solid. We are on a flow. That's true. I think this one is I don't know if it's B-O-G-E-Y or B-O-G-I-E. Huh. Make the Transverse and make Emily and all the rest of us team in Lego. That's a good question. All right, Logic Buster, you're throwing out the good ideas. Make sure y'all put these in the chat because I'm gonna, or yeah, I mean we have them in the chat here in the Discord because I have a terrible memory and will forget. I actually have in some ways a great memory, but it's for incredibly tiny minutia, usually of sci-fi books I've read. The brain is a magical thing. Alrighty. Gotta build out the ends of this. I'm only mildly concerned that this is going faster than expected, but I think we'll still work out on time. Mind is a terrible thing. Ah, so many great quotes. You're on fire tonight, people. Fire. Alrighty. So while I'm doing this, can anyone talk about what's coming up next? Because I often do that way too late in the process, and there's way too much great stuff on the Transverse to only talk about it at the bare last few minutes. I know we have, I believe, Valkyries on Friday. At least it's usually then. There is All on the Table, our Dungeons and Dragons show that's on Sundays. We have Monday's programming with Transistence and great news and information that might be of interest for many of us, especially those of us who do find ourselves of the trans persuasion. We have following that, Behind Open Doors with Jeannie, which is a great show talking about sex and other salacious topics. And then we have on Tuesday the great Livin' With show, which is all super high energy and a lot of fun, right leading straight into the flagship original show of the entire network, the Transgender show, before coming back to Builder's Block on Wednesdays. Now, I think right now there's only 2 of us who are regular builders. That's why we're asking if other people are creators who want to come in. Rosa, because of school, has to take a bit of a pause as a builder. So we might also take a bit of a pause on the show front, not stopping the show, but maybe spacing out or doing every other week or something to give Emily and myself a bit of a break, since we would be having to do a lot more production, and I can say it is a lot of work to pull together the pieces for this kind of show. Did I remotely come close to summarizing what's coming up in the schedule? I hope I did. Oh, and there's some links right there where you can get a bunch of great schedule things. Because if nothing else, you can always go to the Discord and get all the information. Okay, here we are. So folks, we have our roof. I don't want it to just be the roof and stop there. I want it to be filled in. And I want it to have a little bit of shape. So what I did was, I start with some smooth tiles on the ends here, which I'm inexpertly attempting to apply simultaneously. Then we have these long plates down the middle with studs on top. And I'm then going to, which also adds just a nice structure. This thing has become a lot more rigid than it was at the start. I'm now going to, I'm making a lot of accidental salacious jokes. Add these little tiles on the side that have this little ridge that gives a little bit more depth and texture. So I'm gonna alternate these, or not alternate them, I'm gonna put them, yes, I'm alternating them with these 1x2 black plates to kind of create almost like little windows, or the appearance of like vents, which you might see at the top of like a zoo car, a little space for smells to get out and air to get in, and Indiana Jones to crawl through and land into a pit of snakes, all that kind of stuff. That's the general gist of why you want vents on your train cars for young archaeologists and air. As I fill that in, I will then put these pieces in the middle, and then I'll take these remaining tile pieces and place them onto the remainder of the roof, giving it a nice smooth top to it. Ooh, that cracked when I did that one. There's our roof, roof, car, roof on car. Look at that. Wow. Okay, I laid out the pieces. I never actually assembled it. I really like this. That came out better than I even pictured in my head. That looks pretty damn sweet. So here is... Oh, sorry, someone came in, I missed it. New here. Hey, well, thank you, new person, for stopping by. That's so awesome of you. I build custom Lego things, and so I am building a train with cars that are somewhat humorously, at least to myself, related to different LGBTQ identities. And so we are in the process of building a bear car with our two kinds of bears inside of it, along with our lesbian car carriers and our tanker of gender fluid and the trans train engine. And you are coming just in time for the end of this car, because all that's left is to put together the wheels and hook this sucker up to the consist. So let me do that. This is a very easy and standard way to do these wheel connections. I think it's sometimes why official Lego trains do shorter cars, is they get away with just doing one wheel that don't rotate, because the shorter cars are short enough that they can make the corners and not have to bend. On these longer trains, longer cars, you need to have these rotating bogies to be able to make the curve. So, and like I said, I just like how they look, the longer cars. So that's what we are going to do. Excuse me. Finish the mudslide on the Pepsi, Diet Coke. All right. What kind of building is needed, physical or digital? I'm not sure if I follow that logic, Buster, and sorry for not capturing or not. Oh, does Minecraft count as building? Maybe that was what it was. Minecraft totally counts as building. I only don't play Minecraft for two reasons. One, the couple times I saw my friends' kids play it, I got motion sick. So it was a little bit much for me to handle. I would probably be better if I played it myself. But still, I also thought I could get kind of addicted to it. So I figured it's enough to have one hobby of building. I didn't need to expand it with Minecraft. So I still just do our physical Lego building and website building. All right, but here it is all together with the wheels on. And just like I mentioned before, we have all the colors from black to gray to white to tan to yellow to orange to brown of the Bear Pride flag, plus the bear logo in our little car. And there she, or I guess he in this case, blows. Goes. I am not intentionally trying to be suggestive with this. But here's the train. So let's hook this sucker up, right? Let's go on. I'll put my work flag back and put the brick separator to the side, because it's important to clean up. I'm going to clean up all the extra tiles I didn't use. Put those back into the appropriate tray. The one extra brick that I got wrong. So for the record, I pulled out one missing piece. I think that is pretty darn solid for planning, especially for someone who can stink at planning sometimes. Let's put the train together, right? So figure this angle and the weird coloring that my old iPhone 10 does, but we can at least see them in a row. So we got our engine, and then maybe a tanker in case they it's a diesel engine or something, I don't know. And then we can pop on the bear car. And I kind of run out of room at this point. I'll move my mouse. We can at least get one of the two lesbian car carriers, because I wanted both an orange one and a pink one in there, so we can put that on there. There we go. There's your train, people. Pretty darn sweet. I am happy. I'm happy with this, how this came out. I don't know. The tanker was I feel like an unexpected surprise. When I didn't think that would come together as well as it did, and I feel like that's the same feeling I'm having with this car that they came out much better than I was expecting. I'm very happy with these. Sweet. All right. That is a nice feeling. And I hope it was a nice feeling for you too, that you had some fun watching me fill around with Legos here and do a bit of construction. Could be set to, oh, that's a good question. Thank you, Carrie. I'll look that up and dig into the settings. Good thought. From South America. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by at all, and don't worry about it. And thank you, Midvani, for getting in there, speaking to it. Structures temporarily count, Carrie, because I feel like because they get destroyed so immediately, while it is it could be an expression creatively, I feel like it's more often an expression of desperate, I don't want to be shotness. So I don't feel like it's quite the same as Minecraft or Lego construction. But anything you do to build is great, and I'm so glad that I got to share a building with you and hear that you're building things. It's probably at least one other thing I can talk about here, but I just want to again emphasize, it's so awesome when you people come by. Whether you're new, whether you've been here a bajillion times, it makes my night, makes my week, and I very, very much appreciate it. And I have a lot of fun with you, and I hope you have a good time too. And thank you for the kind comments that some of you said. But it's lovely to have you here. I don't know what I'm gonna build next. The bear one was the most certain one I had in my mind. I've got some other great ideas. I've heard some great ideas from you. I need to see what pieces I have to make sure I can actually execute on those ideas. There's also the thought too, like, should I shake it up? I had a thought before of a spaceship, so maybe I might do a spaceship. But I don't know for sure. I think that's part of the fun. Is that right? We get to shake it up and see. So I know there is a possibility of we might switch to an every other week schedule versus every 3 week schedule. I'll chat with Emily. We'll figure it out. And of course, if we can get another one of you all in here to be another builder, makes it all easier, doesn't it? Originally, we wanted 4. We wanted to do one a week. And then we got 3. And then Rosa had to stupidly prioritize learning and education and personal growth and not building for all of our enjoyments. So now we're stuck in a place where we have to make do and fill in the gaps. So if you have a creative talent, please come on the Discord, please talk about it, please share it with us, and let's see if it would make sense. And even if not, it is fantastic to have you here and to get to build. And so even if it's a slightly longer gap until next time, I hope you'll return. I hope we'll get to have some fun again. Again, like I said, I think there's something else I could say, but now I'm trying to remember what it was. I'm going to randomly pan over. If you don't know about me, you can come by always to my website, justjust42.com. It is tremulously barely a work in progress in that I don't always make as much progress as I hope, but I have tried lately to actually upload my past episodes. So if you are somehow amazingly enough to be willing to spend 2 hours watching a recap of an old episode with no context about the chat, it's available for you now on YouTube and via my personal website there in the carousel there. I've only ever constructed Lego trains to Nubia, so I can't go beyond what you've seen here. This is the extent of my train building is in the Lego world. This is train number 6, 7 that I've built. It's a custom train versus an official set. So I built some trains, but only of the Lego variety. And just to wrap up with my site, so it's ever a work in progress, but the goal is to finish the trans talk section. I'm almost done with my personal story. Then I'll move on to some trans 101 stuff. I'd love your thoughts on some great things that we can potentially, not we, obviously this is partly for me to help share my story with when I come out, hopefully later this year, to everyone else in my life, that I can have a resource of them to go to. But I want to talk about a Trans 101 kind of section to give some baselines or some common arguments or questions or concerns they might have or they might hear, that I can address them directly and personally through my site. And then also talk a bit about faith and how I've come to a bit of reconciliation on that front. Because that's a lot of people in my past. I want to forearm what I might hear from them and hopefully disarm some of those thoughts and make people see that it is a wide, wonderful, and beautiful world that exists, and us being a part of it is not a problem. All right, that was a great long babble, but thank you. And one more time, thank you for coming by. It's so great. I don't think I have anything else to build or share immediately. I realize Rosa does a great job of going on for like 2 hours past the line. Obviously, I'm not that person, but it was so great to be able to do this much with you. So I hope you will forgive me and ending a little bit earlier. And have a wonderful rest of the week. Until next time, though, you go out there, you keep building, you keep creating, you keep contributing to the world, all of the things that you can think of, all the awesomeness that is you. And until next time, once again, this has been Builder's Block. I am Jess. You are awesome. I hope to see you again next time. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Someone just pointed out that Riverboat Jack is on. I actually am not as familiar with them, but I love the idea of raiding. So if anyone is able to raid, that is great. I know I do not have that capability, but I have had some people help me with that in the past. I think last time we ran and got Rosa to raid my friend Tara. That was who it was last time. But yeah, I would love to. I'm totally cool with Riverboat Jack. It's totally cool to raid, but I do not have the ability. So if a mod can do it, wonderful. If we can find someone else who can do it, that's great. If no one can, that's okay. I'm gonna leave the coming up sign for a few minutes, which is just useful information anyway. So if you have patience or willing to wait around, if we can find someone, that would be great. Yeah, I know I didn't. At least I don't know how. Last time I tried to do it, nothing happened, and then they said they would change abilities, but I still don't know how to do it. Is anyone still on who does know how to do it? I'm looking just in case I see something that tells me how. Okay, we'll try that. And it's Riverboat Jack exactly like it was spelled. All right. This is an experiment, everyone. Read. Do I need to do at Riverboat Jack, or do I just type Riverboat Jack? No, I'm gonna try to. We'll try this. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can spell it right. I don't have permission to perform that action, so I cannot do it. I got an error message, so sorry, folks. This is yeah. I'm gonna when I create a recording of the video, I'm gonna cut this part out. But that's okay. If you, while I cannot do a direct raid, obviously if anyone's out, we'd love to send people to other LGBTQ channels and get to share and promote and boost others. So if you are still hanging around, and if we don't find someone to do raid in the next few minutes, please consider hopping on over to Riverboat Jack, twitch.tv/riverboatjack, and giving them a look-see. And again, thanks so much. Bye.